It is great to be in New York City and to see the amount of support and unconditional love to the state of Israel. We saw thousands of people marching, supporting Israel, and I know that we are friends in Israel. Sometimes people in Israel think that we have to take action because we do not have the support in the US. When you come here, you see the friends of Israel, Jews and Christians alike, standing with Israel. We know we have the strength to do what is good for Israel, and that's what we will do. We have a lot of obstacles, a lot of challenges, but we have to take the right decisions. I'm very happy to be here again in the concert. I want to thank my friends, Joe Frager, Dr. Paul Brady, Odelia Jacobs, and the great team that are putting the concert every year again and again.
Well, I think it's important for Jewish Americans to know that support for Israel in the United States goes all across the spectrum, the political spectrum, the social spectrum. And I think it's important for people all around the world to understand how strong the support is for Israel in the United States. You can see it when the Prime Minister speaks to Congress, but I don't think people fully appreciate that Americans see Israel as part of the West, as closely related to the United States, sharing our interests and our values. And so helping out a little bit in an event like this, I think, is very important to try and do. I think ever since the first September the 11th, whatever doubt there was in the minds of the American people about the threat posed by international terrorism has been erased. They've seen it, they saw it on the first September 11th, and sadly, despite all of our efforts, we saw it again in Benghazi, September the 11th of last year. We saw it at the Boston Marathon on April the 15th. We've seen it in the streets of London and Paris. So I think the American people strongly support the West's defense against terrorism. They understand what a vulnerable position Israel is in, and not just from the terrorists, but from states like Iran that seek nuclear weapons. So it's important to understand that the American people see where these threats are. They believe in defending themselves. They believe in defending their friends.
Well, originally it started politically, for politics, to show the side, the right side. We are to the right, and that's what this was. It became also a dance festival, bringing many people in, and it's okay. It's okay, and hopefully we'll continue, and I'm happy to be here with my family. From every year, somebody from Israel comes in. I have 2 daughters there, 2 son-in-laws, 12 grandchildren, 13, and 1 on the way. I'll be a great-grandma. And every year, somebody has come in for the concert.
And we're glad also to give the star Danny Danon and Ambassador John Bolton a place where they can express their views and tell the American people really what is the truth, what's going on.
They're very good friends.
I'm very honored and proud to be here to work together with Dr. Paul Brody and Dora Brody and Dr. Frager. We have worked on several projects for Hasbara for Israel. We've been very effective, Baruch Hashem. We brought Danny Danon a few times, a few concerts, and every year he gets stronger and stronger because he sticks with the same message that Eretz Israel is the biblical land for the Jewish people. It is for us to have, and he sticks with the message that Eretz Israel Hashlama. That means Yehuda, Shomron, Hebron, Yerushalayim, all of Eretz Israel belong to the Jewish people because God gave it to us. And Kadosh Baruch Hu gave us this land. And we're very happy to have him here, this time as Sgan Deputy of Defense Minister. And we wish him a lot of Hatzlacha.
It's a great honor and pleasure to be interviewed by Arutz Sheva, which not only puts out very interesting information and news about Israel, but also worldwide and, of course, in America. And so thank you very much for the interview. And, of course, it's a great honor to be selected to be the chairperson together with my wife, Dora Brody, for the 8th consecutive year, working together with Dr. Joe Frager, who's the organizer for the past 20 years. The main message of this concert, which, of course, is a fantastic display of song and merriment, is that we are not going to give up an inch of land to anybody, because Eretz Yisrael is ours. It's Eretz Yisrael Hashlema, the total land. Whatever it says in the Torah and the Tanakh, that's going to be ours. Plus, we're never going to divide Yerushalayim again. We know what happened when Yerushalayim was in the hands of others. Okay, so it's our job, and Joan Frager and I work very closely in Ateret Kohanim, Jerusalem Chai, Jerusalem Reclamation Project, to put Jews, to resettle them back into different parts of the old city. And that's what the message is here. People come here for whatever reason. They want to hear the great music, fine. It's right after the Israel Day Parade, which they should march in. But then they hear some serious messages too, like by Ambassador John Bolton from the UN, who said that it's time that we stop Iran now. And from Danny Danon, who is a rising star in Israel, who's the now the deputy minister under Buggy Alon of Defense. This is a very important position. And he always signals right and he turns right, unlike some other politicians in Israel who signal right and then they end up going left. And that is intolerable. But Danny Danon is a straight shooter, and that's why he's here for the third consecutive year. We love to have Danny Danon here. Well, American Jewry, at least the Orthodox Jewry, of course, is very strong with Eretz Yisrael. And events like this concert in Central Park, which is an annual concert for the last 20 years, of course, is bringing us, we Americans, much closer to Israel, because we're singing Israeli songs, we're talking about Yerushalayim, we're talking about Eretz Yisrael, and we have speeches about that, and we're having representatives from the state of Israel, and we're having representatives who are not even Jewish, such as Ambassador Bolton, talking strongly for Israel. These are lovers of Israel. You know, for a Jewish person to love Israel, it's obvious, but for a non-Jew to love Israel, it's fantastic. So people like this are very important.
Dr. Joseph Frager, organizer of the Israel Day Concert, our 20th year. Largest crowd ever at the bandshell. We had Ambassador John Bolton and, of course, Deputy Defense Minister of Israel, Danny Danon. And we are extremely happy that, thank God, of course, it was the success that it has been. It's in memory, of course, to one of the main founders of Arutz Sheva, which is Carl Fryer. It's also in memory to Dr. Manfred Lehman and Rose and Reuben Mattis, who were extremely strong supporters of the land of Israel. I think that today, this concert, probably the most important one we've ever done, because of the threat of Iran looming very large in the next few months. I think that we're dealing with a hyper-emergency situation, which really should never have gotten to this point. Iran should have been taken care of probably 5-6 years ago at the least. But now, because the world likes to procrastinate and wish that they would just, disappear, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. And I have been making a push. I've made it a push before for bunker busters to be sent to Israel by America, and I make that push again. It doesn't take more than 3 or 4 bunker busters, and the job is all completely done. In my long discussion with Danny Danon, Deputy Defense Minister of Israel, on Friday, it was pretty obvious that if they had the bunker busters, if the president would be willing to send, and of course Secretary of Defense Hagel would be willing to send the bunker busters, the job would have been done already. But because of the lack of the bunker busters, we're dealing with a holdup in the situation, and it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. The world's greatest threat today is, of course, Iran. And Iran is controlling what's going on in Syria. Iran is controlling what's going on in Hamas. Iran is controlling what goes on in Hezbollah in Lebanon. So Iran is the entity that has to be dealt with. If you take out their nuclear capability, you will deal with Iran on all of the other levels. And that you will see that harmony and peace will develop a lot sooner in Syria, in Lebanon, once you take Iran out of the picture of supporting terrorism, being the main state supporter of terrorism today. That nuclear capability is really what's driving their ambitions. And by striking at the nuclear reactors, America will be a lot safer, Israel will be a lot safer, the world will be a lot safer. And the bunker busters are the holdup. The president was nice enough to send the tankers over, the refueling tankers to Israel, and a fairly large shipment of other important weapons. But the bunker busters, for some reason, were left out. And I think if there's anything that I could do today to help the world is try to get the president to see eye to eye on that point, and America is going to be a lot safer. And we're not going to have to worry about Iran. We can deal with domestic issues. We can deal with a lot of other issues. Syria will be a lot easier to deal with. I've said it already. But that's my point today, and it's been the main theme of this event. Obviously, we believe in Yisrael Shalema, and Yerushalayim should be united forever and never to be divided. And we're, big fans of obviously trying to rebuild all of Israel and bring peace to Israel. This is our objective. The way we go about it is a little different than the president might want to go about it, but the objective is the same. We want to bring peace. And a strong Israel, a strong America is a way to bring peace to Israel and to the world.